I am Graham Hughes. This is Ciaran Donovan here. Driving. I can't drive. I can drive, but I can't drive this van because I'm not insured for it. Because, you know, stupid insurance rules. Means that Ciaran's got to do the lion's share. So I'm trying to help out as best I can by not annoying him too much.
Oh look, there's an English FedEx truck.
An English FedEx truck. It's not easy getting over. So we got over the border yesterday. Well, we got over the channel. From Dover to Calais, it took 7 hours.
No, we got over the Belarusian border.
We got over the Belarusian border, it took 7 hours.
The Belarusian Brexit.
And yeah, it was all a bit of a nightmare. And we finally got to the hotel last night at 3 o'clock
No,
in the
wait.
morning.
It was so late by the time we got on the ferry.
Yeah.
They were serving breakfast with the dinner next to it.
Yeah.
So you had a choice of dinner or breakfast.
Yeah, you could get breakfast on the ferry.
And we left Amersham at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
We were incredibly lucky though, because one of Ciaran's mates, who was just a little bit behind us in the port, he's had to wait till 6 in the morning this morning to get over, to get on the ferry. So we wouldn't have got here till 7:30.
9 hour wait.
Yeah. Hi David. No, not had breakfast yet, not had coffee or nothing. So we're gonna stop and get some coffee. We're gonna stop and get some coffee in a bit.
We are going to stop and get a coffee. Quick pit stop, because if we don't get to Luxembourg,
yeah,
we're in trouble.
Why are we in trouble?
Because they're closed for the weekend.
What, Luxembourg closes for the weekend?
Oh,
the entire country?
About 3, 4 o'clock. No, the factory.
Oh right. Oh God. Sorry, the camera's just fallen down there. I'm trying to adjust the camera. We went over a pothole at exactly the same moment. I missed your stream last night. How are you doing? How are you feeling today, Ciaran? Have you had a good sleep?
Not really.
No?
6 hours.
Yeah, it was a bit short, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Turned on the radio this morning at 10 o'clock thinking, oh, listen to James O'Brien. And it's 10 o'clock here in France, but it's 9 o'clock in the UK. So I was listening to Nick Ferrari for a whole, like, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, that's too much.
Oh man, too much. Way too much. Way too much. Can you still hear us, by the way? I've just changed mics, so if you can't hear us, let us know in the comments. Any truck queues? No, we're on the Calais side now. We're heading towards Lille. We're about, what, 50 kilometres out of Lille?
40 miles.
40 miles out of Lille. And we'll be getting there in about an hour or so, and then we'll be heading onwards. Are we going through Belgium?
We are.
We're going to go through Belgium.
Oh, look at the flag.
Into Luxembourg. There you go. Flags on the side of the road there. We've got the flag of France and the flag of the EU. Did you know that the British government made a rule saying that when the Welsh flag is flown in Wales and it's on the same flagpole as the Union flag must be placed on top?
Really?
Yeah, and do you know when the British government came up with that rule? Would you think it might be, I don't know, in the Middle Ages or something, or even maybe before then? You know, just when Edward the First
last week.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah.
Last year they made the new rule, if you can believe that. So yeah, we're going to be heading over to Luxembourg. We're gonna head off in a minute. Sign off. I mean, off this, because we're going to listen to James O'Brien, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll switch him on.
Material for later. But yeah. So yesterday there was a queue of lorries, quite a big queue of lorries getting into the port. We were just incredibly lucky. If we were 10 minutes later getting into that traffic queue going into Dover, we would have been waiting an extra hour. If we'd been waiting an extra hour to get into Dover, then we might have got the wrong lane. The guy in the lane next to us, in the very first stop point that we had to get to once we were in the port, was to hand over our passports to French control to get stamped into France. Do you believe it? Yeah, the guy next to us said he'd been waiting in his lane for 2 hours
And hadn't moved.
For 2 hours.
His head was hanging out the window, literally in despair.
And then we got through that, and then we managed to get through the next hurdle, which is your customs declaration. You have a little app on your phone that gives a barcode. You've got to give that to the customs agent, who's not a customs agent. Who are they, Ciaran?
Civilian staff working for ferry companies.
Civilian staff working for ferry companies are currently checking the cargo.
Acting on behalf of Michael Gove with his promise of 50,000 customs agents to process paperwork. Yeah.
This is a smuggler's wet dream, isn't it?
It is.
If you think about like the fact that it's so, I was gonna say it's a bit warm.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I stripped down to my t-shirt. I was like, I've got more layers than this. Yeah, if you're a smuggler right now, you don't need to come in on the beaches at crack of dawn or whatever. No one checks.
No.
There were no dogs. There were no dogs sniffing around the van on the way out. I'm assuming it's going to be a bit more difficult getting into Britain with stuff.
It can be, yes. We might be lucky because it's going to be late Friday night.
Right.
No, it won't be. It'll be Friday. If I get away by 3, we could be back in Calais for 7, 8 o'clock this evening.
Cool. More night footage.
Yeah.
That's okay. Oh, we're getting some comments coming in here. European flag flying high for the European Pride. So what legal powers and options do these civilian ferry company employees have if something's not right with paperwork or whatever?
They just stop you boarding the ferry. They send you into the P&O or the DFDS office at the other side, and you sit there, and if you can't get your paperwork, they send you out via lane 81 up the ramp and out the port back to where you came from. And I know it's lane 81.
Yeah.
Because I've had to do it.
You have to do it.
Not for wrong paperwork, because my alternator went when I was waiting in the queue 3 weeks ago. And my battery light came on, and I thought, well, I'd rather it happen here than abroad.
Yeah.
So I turned around and came back, and I said, can you let me out? So I went up lane 81.
Lane 81. Should we do that as the name of the book about all this? Call it Lane 81.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good name, that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to say as well, like, so transporting goods around the EU used to be like transporting goods from Liverpool to Newcastle. You just picked up your stuff, you headed to where you wanted to go, and you dropped it off at the other end. Brexit has made that nigh on impossible to do in and out of the United Kingdom. And as a result of that, you're seeing small companies going bankrupt, you're seeing logistical companies pulling their hair out, driving the prices of everything up, everything. Already this year, we're feeling the pinch because of the increase in fuel costs, not just for heating houses, but also for making cars move. We've seen wages stagnate under the Tories, not increased in real terms for the whole 11 years, 12 years that the Tories have been in power. And on top of that, you're seeing massive price rises, like 150% price rises for value food, for the basic products in the supermarkets.
Yeah. Oh, it's massive.
And the bootstrap cook Jack Monroe has been brilliantly pointing out to people, good on her. She's made this whole thing about the fact that this inflation figure of 5% misses out the fact that if you are buying the cheapest stuff in the supermarket, your weekly shop has gone up by over 100%. Like, It is doubled. It has doubled almost overnight. And this is a one-way street. It's not going to settle down after a few months. These are endemic problems with moving goods in and out of Britain that are never going to be resolved. So if you're a British company trying to export into the EU, you now have barriers in the way. And if you're an EU company trying to import stuff into Britain, you have barriers in the way. And there's going to be more barriers later in the year, because they're not doing the photosanitary checks yet, are they? July they bring in the photosanitary checks, and also either in July or August they're bringing in biometric recordings of everybody in and out.
I forgot to show you the huge building they're building outside the port. That's for that.
For the biometric scans.
And the veterinary checks. Yeah, it's a huge, massive building outside the port in Calais.
Is the British taxpayer paying for that? Is Nigel Farage and all his millionaire mates?
No, I think the French are paying for it because they know that it's a good business. Because they're going to be charging all the UK businesses to actually inspect all the vehicles. So we pay for that.
So you've got to understand that 75% of the food that comes into, the food that we eat is imported. And I know they give a slightly lower figure when they're talking about it, because they'll talk about, these biscuits were made by McVitie's in Manchester. Yeah, they might have been, but the ingredients for the biscuits generally come from abroad.
Talking about ingredients.
Yeah.
Did you know hot cross bun mix?
Yeah. It's explosive.
I've transported it. It's class 3. It falls in the same category as petrol. Honestly. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And things like organic flavourings, vanilla flavouring, and all the other flavourings are worth more than in gold.
Jesus.
In their pure form. I've transported them from Europe when I used to have my licence. So, crisp flavourings, hot noodle flavourings, anything that goes into an artificial food product with a flavouring comes from a liquid in its pure form, which is hazardous in its own right. And you've got all the new regs on hazardous goods coming in and out. So you've got a problem getting the food flavourings in and out.
Great.
Mainly in, because we import them.
All good news.
Yeah.
So I've been asked.
I've got a picture of my phone actually of hot cross bun mix in the back of my van. They're little blue cartons packed in 5 litre increments, and they've got flammable. They've got flammable written on it. They smell good.
Surely it's just dough with some sugar.
No, it's the flavouring. You've got the dough, but then you have the flavouring that goes into the bun. That flavouring is flammable. Never knew that.
I'm being asked when I'm getting my HGV license. Never. I hate manoeuvring. I hate driving big cars.
I would never do my HGV license.
Hate it. I'm crap at it. So it's like, I don't know, singing, dancing, playing football. It's just something. I'm no good at it, so I'm never going to try and do it. I'm never going to try to do it professionally, because I'll just end up looking like one of those dickheads on X Factor who turns up and goes, I'm going to be a really big singing star, and I'm going to go to #1. Just wait till Simon Cowell sees my stuff. And then they go out on the stage and they're like, la!
Absolutely.
That's me. That's me driving. I'm a crap driver. Most people have a very high opinion of their own driving skills. They're like, I am the best driver who ever drove. I drive at the exact right speed. Everyone going slower than me is a twat. Everyone going faster than me is a maniac. Yeah. I try not to fall into that trap. But
anyway,
go on.
Back on track.
Back on track.
We didn't get to the hotel till... Oh, look, there's a steaming lump of Brexit. Oh, you missed that. That's a shame. That would have been a good advertisement.
Damn it.
There was a load of horse manure in the field smoking.
Steaming horse manure.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on. What were you saying?
We got to the hotel at 3 after working all day and spending 12 hours to get over.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all need to sleep because we're all human. So we literally had 6 hours sleep in a hotel at a cost of €10 an hour to sleep. That's what you break it down in real-time costs.
Wow.
And I've got to be in Luxembourg by 3 o'clock because the factory will close until Monday, and they need the stuff on Monday. If it wasn't for those delays last night, we would have been in Luxembourg.
Well, someone's asking how long it normally takes to get across the channel. 2 hours.
Before Brexit?
Yeah, 2 hours.
2 hours.
You could so the ferry takes an hour and a half. You can turn up half an hour before.
Half an hour before it sails, even 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you drive straight down the lanes, up the ramp, and on the ferry.
Yeah. I know. Kieran obviously knows that through lots of personal experience. I know that through my experience.
The only way you'd ever get disrupted if it's windy or the French went on strike. And that rarely happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now it's just a nightmare. Every time it's
7 hours. It took us
7 hours to 7 to 10 hours to cross.
And if we had been 10 minutes later getting on the A20, we'd been 10 minutes late getting on the A20, right? We would still.
Well, because both lanes would have been packed.
We would have had to sleep in the van.
Yeah, we would. We got no beds in this. I've got beds in the other one.
No. So I had 2 nights in a row sleeping upright after the megabus getting down.
I would have turned around and gone home.
Yeah.
Well, I just wouldn't have done it. We're human. I wouldn't have done it. No, sorry.
Are you saying I'm an animal for doing all this travelling where we have to sleep like sitting up? I had to sleep on in a taxi in Guinea Conakry, and it was supposed to be like a 12-hour journey to the capital. Ended up taking like 36 hours or something. It was 2 nights, and I was sitting sharing the front passenger seat with someone else, with another bloke, and had to sleep there.
Ugh.
With one butt cheek on the handbrake. And then when we got to Conakry, the police pulled us over, said you're not allowed 2 people sitting in the front, and tried to give us a fine. Well, they did give us a fine, which I had to pay.
Joe, someone contacted me actually. Oh, there's another English truck. Veolia, that's the water company. That's interesting. What are they doing in France? Well, it's a French company.
Yeah. That's a British truck.
Mobile water services. Maybe they're going out to collect chemicals.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, just before we go, what time is it now? Is it coming up to
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock? Okay.
5 minutes till James O'Brien's on.
We're gonna sign off. Do our duty. It's garden to the people.
In fact, if he talks about Brexit today in any guise, I think we should ring in.
Yeah, you can ring him.
No, you can ring him. And
No,
say you're with me.
they won't let me. They won't let me on, mate. They won't let me on.
Why?
It's only extraordinary circumstances I ever get on that show. I tell you. I think it's only because the
No,
new
but you just
producer's
say you're
very,
me because
very
my phone was linked, so they know it's me.
Do you want me to do your Cockney accent?
No.
Oh, I gav that. I'll sound
No,
like
you can-
Eliza
You
Doolittle.
can just ring up and say,
Sound like Audrey Hepburn.
I'm standing in for me because I'm driving and I can't get on the phone.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I can add into the conversation. That's if he talks about Brexit, but no one really. It's almost become normalised.
Well, what I mentioned actually was the Sue Gray report has now been kicked into the long grass by the Met Police, taking out all of the stuff that had teeth, all of the stuff like the pictures of Johnson actually at the party with bottles of wine. They've said we need that for our investigation, and so when Sue Gray's report comes out, it's going to be a lame duck report. It's not going to have anything juicy in it, really. It's all going to be explained away. It was ambushed by cake. He didn't know it was a party.
Yeah.
There was a plausible explanation for everything. Do you know what it reminds me of? You ever watched the TV show Monkey Dust on BBC Three, the animation show? Clive, the fella who go out and like he'd come back 3 days later, and his wife was like, "Where have you been?" And it weaved this fantastical story that was based on a movie.
You ever been to Ypres?
Yes. As a kid, I went to a lot of.
For the 8 o'clock thing every night since World War One.
Yeah, I don't know if I went for that.
No, they're based there. Just reminded me.
No, I went to Normandy, you know, the beaches where they did the landing in World War II. I've been to the Somme. This is a kid because my dad is. He's one of these people who loved all the sort of war shit, which I was never particularly fascinated with. I was more interested in the psychology of it, not the battles, not how they won a battle or whatever, but the psychology of what led to the Nazis getting into power. And we were just talking this morning about Priti Patel being an exponent of the death penalty, and we were just discussing about whether they're actually going to bring that back into public discourse, and whether Britain could become the only country in Europe, along with Belarus, that has the death penalty.
Does Belarus have it?
Yeah, Belarus has got it. Belarus is a place that the USSR never died, isn't it?
Yeah.
Run by
Lukashenko,
who's been in charge since 1990.
Yep.
22 years now. With an iron fist, and any kind of what's it called? Any kind of protest is clamped down on, which is what the Tories are trying to do in the UK. Make sure people can't protest. So if you're going to get thrown in jail for protesting, you may as well riot. That's the way I look at it. You're going to jail anyway. Forget being pleasant and nice.
Oh, do you want a coffee in here?
Yeah. Let's just quick. I know we've got to be quick. Just run in, get a coffee, everyone else. All right, we're going to stop and get a coffee. Thank you very much, David. Thank you very much. Have a beer from me watching here in Asia. Hi to Hong Kong. Thank you very much for the super chat there, David. Really, really appreciate it. Hong Kong money. Have you been to Hong Kong?
No.
They have like different notes issued by different banks of the same amount. You know the way you have like Clydesdale Bank in Scotland, you've got a few different Scottish bank notes.
Yeah.
Depending on who issues them.
Yeah.
Royal Bank of Scotland, Clydesdale, they have that. So there's HSBC notes in Hong Kong.
Interesting.
Yeah. A bit of advertising. Anyway, we're coming into the services. If you want to flick over and listen to James O'Brien for a bit, we'll be probably back on after James has finished today, but he's probably going to be talking about the Sue Gray report. So if you want some more Brexit discussions, please join us in a few hours and we'll be back with you. Okay, until then, cheerioski, bye bye, take care.
Bye.
Love yous all. You're amazing. Thanks for the super chats.
Bye.